Blog Talk Radio.
All right, guys, welcome to Wednesday Night Musical Osmosis. I am your host, Nick, the Saucy One Catsaurus. As always, I am broadcasting to you live from the land of mess and honey, Caryville, Tennessee. And I've also want to introduce my stunning, beautiful, multi-talented producer, the rebel to my cause, Danielle Prizer. How you doing tonight, sweetheart?
I'm good. You flatterer. Oh, you're going to make me blush.
That's what I'm always shooting for, dear. Now, you know, I've gotten a little bit of feedback that people want to hear more Danielle on the show.
Well, I'm not sure why. I'm not nearly as funny as, say, Christopher Titus's girlfriend. Christopher Titus, of course, remember, will be on in just a couple of weeks right after his honeymoon. Little shameless plug there. But we'll see what we can do. Yeah, I got a little bit to say tonight.
All right. Well, I'm going to let you introduce who we have on tonight, and who did we just listen to, and who do we have on tonight?
Oh, tonight we have the founder and lead singer, the absolutely sometimes insane, gotta love him, Mickey DeSadist. And I'm super duper excited. He is up there in Canada, and he says it's actually it's very warm, but just like us, you know, storms here and there. For anybody that somehow doesn't know, Forgotten Rebels, think pretty much anything else. Think the Ramones, think Sex Pistols, think, you know, any of the good, awesome, classic punk bands that were the reason that I first picked up on punk at all. And Forgotten Rebels, of course, is just right there in that groove. Right there with the Clash and everybody else, and I just think he's awesome. Mickey, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here. I can't believe how many compliments I'm getting. Wow, I might have to change my underwear.
There you go.
Yeah. We've been going at it for years. See, the thing is, we're the biggest slackers in music. We get around. Well, we take our time, you know, sort of like cooking gumbo, but. We get around, we do our songs, and we've been around for a long time, been everywhere. I like the way you compare us with the Sex Pistols and the Ramones, and, you know, back then, before punk, I was listening to the Stooges and Mott the Hoople and the MC5 and stuff like that. And that was just a natural progression for us to sound like the way we did. You know, somebody asked me what would happen if, you know, if punk never happened, and I'm thinking, well, we were already into the Stooges, the MC5, and Mott the Hoople, and I don't know how much different we would have sounded,
Right.
but it was our attitude, and it is our attitude. We're a bunch of party guys that have been partying for the last 35 years, and it doesn't look like we're going to stop.
And that definitely comes through in the music. Let me ask you real quick. You've had an insane 35-year career through the 70s, 80s, 90s, all the way through today. What is your favorite time period in punk rock? What do you think defines the whole punk movement?
Well, I liked, right at the very beginning of it, when it was a whole thing of change, when the Ramones came after the Stooges, and the glam scene broke, the glam rock scene died right about the time of Rocky Horror Picture Show. The immediate period after that,
love that one.
the New York Dolls with, the Ramones, the Sex Pistols, the Heartbreakers, and the Damned. And I was just listening to those records over and over and over again. But see, as a kid at that time, I didn't play guitar yet, because originally I was the guitar player singer. But see, I was sitting there listening to the Stooges, wanting to become a motocross racer instead. And I was a very lousy motorcyclist, and I didn't win too many races racing around the garbage dump with guys on smaller bikes. So I thought to myself, maybe this sport is not what I'm made for. And I was sitting there plunking away on a friend's guitar. A couple of days later, I figured, okay, I'm not going to win any races. So I sold my motorcycle and bought a guitar and amp. And
wow.
And that
was a good investment.
Yeah,
it worked out pretty well for you, huh?
Yeah, it changed my life, and now I'm a mountain biker, and and I still have that same guitar that I bought back then, and I still play it all the time.
Now, tell me, is that the pink flower guitar?
Oh, that pink flower guitar. No, you know how that came around. My wife wanted to learn how to play guitar, and you know how people are. You know how young girls are. They get an interest in something, and then they lose interest. And I says to her, you know what, if you want to learn, I'll buy you any guitar you want. Just make sure it's cool enough for me to pick up.
Nice.
So she goes and she buys this pink guitar. and I bought it for her, and I thought, wow, this is insane looking, this guitar. And, she lost interest in it, and I play it. And right after that, I looked up that company, and they had another guitar that was star-shaped, and it was purple metal flake.
Oh, no way.
And I thought to myself, wow, even Gary Glitter's guitar player didn't have one this gaudy. So I ordered it.
Now that would be my guitar. Purple
I
star
bought
and
it.
shiny.
I got it, and I was playing it last night. I really love the sound of that one. But both of those guitars, those guitars were designed for women to play. So they are thinner, they're lighter, and they're very, very convenient on the hands. But, I'm curious, what kind of women would play that guitar other than Joan Jett or someone like that, because they're really loud, harsh, metal-sounding guitars. And I thought, well, they sound perfect for me. And I was even at the same music store. I bought the star-shaped one the other day, and a bunch of kids surrounded me asking me about guitars. And the owner of the store goes, well, Mickey's the only guy in Canada that's ever ordered that guitar. and he was snickering at it, and then he says, there's not too many people that could, have a star-shaped guitar or a pink flower-shaped guitar and be as macho as a guy like me and still carry it through.
Right.
Which I thought, that's a heck of a compliment,
Oh, yeah, you definitely look really manly playing it. I was watching a video earlier, and I'm like, you've got to be kidding. That is awesome.
Where did you find a video of that? On YouTube?
I think it was on YouTube. I was actually looking for other interviews that you've done so we could try not to ask you the same old, same old.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, that was funny. Oh God, that guitar. I was probably doing G.G. Allen covers or something.
Right. Let me ask you,
probably, yeah.
Since you're kind of like a pioneer, and I'm going to probably ask you a lot of questions about 35 years of punk, what's the biggest change you've seen in the punk scene? I mean, do you like where it's gone? Do you think it's just, I kind of think it's fizzled out. Do you think it's fizzled out, or is, punk's not dead?
I don't think it's,
still...
I think it's become a musical style like folk. Like folk music will always exist. But it's no longer protest. It's not even a protest music like it was. Like it's like a music now, that people play it because it has that beat, because it has that guitar sound, rather than this is how I picked up a guitar and I didn't ever sound any different. The way punk has changed now, what, I remember the beginnings of punk in New York City and how glamorous it was. The Ramones wore their leather jackets and stuff the way a lot of punk players now do. But then there was the Dolls, and all that frilly, like almost club or disco, like Lady Gaga style stuff was happening in the early 70s. And I wish it also grew more. I wish it grew more glamorous, but I wish what's happening now also happened at the same time. The glamour side did not increase as much, except for with my guys and me. My guys still look like, the Ramones or whatever. Our guitar player still looks like a member of the Stooges, and our bass player still looks like Donald Trump's assistant, and our drummer still has, a red mohawk, and some people laugh at the fact that call me, an aging Ron Wood or Rod Stewart lookalike. I don't look like either of those guys. They look like me. Those guys copied my look. They anticipated the future, and that's what they looked like.
Are most of the bands you started out with?
It isn't easy being the handsomest man in rock and roll, Sometimes even smiling makes a girl's heart break.
I know where you're coming from there. I definitely know that feeling, Mickey.
You know what? I actually did a music lecture at a grade school. I was requested to do that, and I was very proud that that I would be asked to do a lecture on music. And this one girl from grade 5, like during the question and answer period, mentions that a lot of rock and roll stars and people that are celebrities, and they get asked, they get stalked. And asked me if it's ever happened to me before, and I says, well, yeah, I've been stalked for quite a while. Two specific girls stalked me, and I had to put a restraining order against them. And one of the boys asked who they were, and I had to tell them, Beyonce and Shakira. What's so funny about that? I don't find that funny at all. You should see some of the letters that Beyonce sends me. I told her, I'm married. I can't do that kind of thing anymore.
It's a rough road we walk in the punk rock.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, it ain't easy being a rock star,
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I wish I had that problem. I'd be okay with that.
Actually, when I was in Even Steven, we never had any groupies, no girls. I was the only guy in a punk band that couldn't get a date.
Really?
I never,
And he was the bass player. I mean, everybody loves the bass player.
He was the bass player?
Yeah.
And I never picked up a girl because I was in a band.
Yeah. Well, that's really unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. You should have. You know what you should have done? Do you know what Tim Hortons is?
I have no idea.
You don't know who Tim Horton was?
Remind me, because the name's not striking a chord.
He was a Canadian hockey player. Well,
that's why. I know nothing about sports.
unfortunately, he passed away. But see, in Canada, in Hamilton, we have the highest per capita Tim Hortons, and those are coffee shops.
Well, right on.
And if you had a hard time picking up girls, you go to Tim Hortons at 2:00 in the morning, and there's always a bunch of drunk girls at every one of them trying to sober up so they don't get screamed at by their parents for drinking. Well, you go there at night after the bar.
Hey, so if we ever split up,
shops.
you know where I'm headed. You heard it here first, Danielle.
Tim Hortons.
All right.
Yeah, Tim Hortons
I'm
donuts.
heading up to
There's
Tim
donut
Hortons.
shops, but you got to be careful. You got to be careful. If you're driving, always be sober, because you know how they call how a derogatory name for policemen in Canada was once donut eaters. They got that because they like hanging around Tim Hortons in the daytime sometimes.
Yeah, it's Dunkin' Donuts here.
I know, it's a very strange mix of people that go to Tim Hortons. Why am I talking about Tim Hortons? Because a stereotype Hamilton guy goes to Tim Hortons to have his coffee while going to work and while coming back home. We've got like 100 of them in this city with only 300,000. No, we got maybe 50 in this city with only 500,000 people in it. And they're all...
I think you're giving Beyonce a little bit too much information there, Mickey. Now she knows you're a
Oh, yeah. No, I don't want... No, because... No, I don't want her giving Shakira information either. Shakira should be smarter than that. She's married, and so
She's
is
probably
Beyonce.
Twittering it right now.
Yeah. Mickey's at Tim Hortons. Well, they've got 50 of them to try.
SOS. This just in.
Yeah.
Okay, so talking about Canada, I had Killer Dwarfs on last week, and they're a metal band from Canada. And anytime you talk to or hear an interview with Canadian guys, they always talk about what a bad rap they get in the States. Being from Canada, they don't get taken seriously. Did you kind of encounter that throughout your career at any time?
Oh, no, I didn't. I just never took anybody seriously. That's what everybody said about me, that I never took anybody seriously. So how can I encounter something like that? Like my best tour in the States was opening act for the Ian Hunter Mick Ronson band. And that was like, the members of Mott the Hoople. They're my childhood idols. And I did a tour of the Western States, and everybody loved us. Because, see, they were a glam band, but they liked punk bands. Like, they had, like, the Buzzcocks open for them and people like that. Yeah.
Right.
And, I played the Hollywood Palace opening for those guys. And, I thought, this is pretty good. Dean Martin was here. The Stones were here. And here I am playing for these guys. And I found they took us very serious. I only wish I met that guy, the mayor of Sunset Strip, Rodney Bingenheimer. I never got a chance to meet him.
Well, I think a lot of people don't realize that glam metal, like real, true, like Faster Pussycat and like real, true glam metal, is steeped in punk roots. A lot of those guys just kind of took punk and just took it to the next level before Warrant and those fucking bands got a hold of it. Like the real the Canna Rocks and stuff, those fans just kind of took the punk
Mike
thing.
Monroe used to play around Canada once in a while. At the El Macombo, I played there lots of times. Or Larry's Hideaway, for that matter. That's in Toronto, and those kind of guys go there. Well, it's like in Hamilton, we got a bar named after my third album called This Ain't Hollywood.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
Yeah, and you wouldn't believe the kind of people that played there. Glenn Matlock played there. Robert Gordon. The members of the Damned were scheduled to play there. I don't know if they did. I was working that night. Commander Cody played there the other night. Even Jimmy Jagger, Mick Jagger's son, played there. And like this is a place where I hang out twice a week. And I don't have to pay cover because I basically gave them the name of the bar.
Mhm.
So I get to see all these great acts. Lydia Lunch played there. My favorite show there was when Walter Lure played there. That was amazing. That was really amazing. Walter Lure from the Heartbreakers.
That would be
Do you
cool.
get a lot of good acts up there from the States, or do they kind of veer off?
That bar and the Casbah get great acts. Who's that guy that got kicked out of Guns N' Roses? He played there.
Wow, Duff McKagan?
No, the guitar player.
Slash?
The guitar not Slash.
Izzy Stradlin?
No, the guy that replaced Izzy.
Now you've lost me. I didn't listen.
Okay, well, he played there, and he was good. He was real good. And even Glenn Matlock's Philistines played Hamilton. Like these.
Oh, Matt Thorne. There you go.
Yeah, Glenn Matlock's Philistines played in Hamilton. We got see, this is a small town, but it's between Toronto and Buffalo. So a lot of these acts will come here. Lady Gaga canceled Cops Coliseum because she just got sick just before it. You know, we had here's a wild couple. This happened obviously years ago. Neil Young with Nirvana opening.
Wow.
At Cops Coliseum.
What, early 90s?
Yeah, I guess so. And this St. Hollywood's like 4 blocks from there, and the Casbah's like 3 blocks from there the other way.
I would
at
not
this point
imagine
in your
those
music career, are you still working a day job at this point in your music career?
I've always had a day job. I've always had a day job. Yeah, because see, the thing is, I don't want to have to cater to an audience to play the type of songs that any record company told me to do. That's why we've always been independent. Like, I couldn't care less if I don't make money from playing, as long as it doesn't cost me anything, and as long as, you know, they pay for my flights, my hotel isn't too shitty. You wouldn't believe some of the horrible hotels I played at. I mean, stayed at.
Believe you.
Oh man, I stayed at this hotel. Like, okay, we did a tour of Germany, and we stayed at very nice, like, European type almost residence places. And this one town we played at, we stayed at a hotel, and get this, okay, you walk in there and there's a bunch of sailors standing outside.
Sounds good so far.
Okay, and you know what the name of the hotel was? The Seamen's
Sailor?
Mission.
All aboard?
No, it was called the Seamen's Mission.
Oh, God.
That was the name of the hotel they gave it to us.
Bet you slept on top of the covers.
Phew, are you kidding? I slept on the floor. You would not believe what this place was like.
Oh, my gosh, that sounds horrible.
Oh, man, find the worst YMCA in San Francisco, and this made it look like, you know, this made it look like
the Ritz.
Yeah, and it was hilarious. But you know what? I don't know if I'd ever stay there again. I don't.
Really? You don't have a brochure you can send me?
Well, you know,
no.
I if I could bring my wife with me, I might stay there. But you know, I'd hide behind her everywhere because she was a woman, and you know, those type of guys, leave them alone.
I'm thinking second honeymoon.
Well, I could just imagine.
No.
I could just imagine.
The good
poor
thing is
Pam's
Beyonce
face when
wouldn't find you there.
Oh no. I could just imagine poor Pam's face looking at the sign.
Oh, God.
Here we go, dear. Second honeymoon.
Yeah, no.
Nice. That would be sweet. You know, I wanted to talk
yeah.
about in the intro, I usually do a little intro on why I only have bands on the show that I'm actually into. I think it makes it more engaging than just
hey,
like
can I
pulling up
talk
some
about
random
something? Can
Yeah,
I talk
definitely
about
talk about anything you want.
Yeah. I did a solo album a few years ago, and I got an award for the best punk album in Hamilton. It's called Welcome to My Basement. And
nice. Who are you running against?
Huh? I was
Who are you
running
up
against
against?
a whole pile of Hamilton bands. Like, there's a whole pile of punk bands in this city. Like, there's a whole pile of bands, and everybody seems to own a 16-track because one guy in the band has a job, and you know, and another guy here is his fighting ex-parents are trying to win his favor, and that's what the young guys got here, So I did this. I did this CD in my basement, and I had to learn how to use all this used recording junk. Yeah, that was pretty good. And another person in Hamilton that's very noteworthy is Chris Houston. He's played around California. He's played all over the country, and he's a solo artist that co-wrote all the songs on "In Love with the System," and he also co-wrote the song "Surfing on Heroin" was also co-written by Houston.
Great song.
Wow.
Yeah, thank you. And we wrote those songs together because see, "Surfing on Heroin" should have been on "In Love with the System." Because that's when it was written. But the band broke up and reassembled, and it never got on there.
Let me interject real quick. I'm a lyric guy. When you're writing your lyrics, are you writing, do you feel like, from a Canadian perspective? Or are you writing?
I'm not writing it from any national perspective. You want to hear some lyrics? This is one of the songs that me and Houston wrote that's not on any, that is on a Rebels record, but I don't remember which one. But it's also on a 45 by Chris Houston. It's called "Shit for Brains." The song's called "Shit for Brains," and his personal song is called "Einstein's Brain," because he discovered that McMaster University, who has a medical center and a medical learning center, has a slice of Einstein's actual brain in the medical lab, and that's for real. And he wrote a song about that, and I wrote a song called "Shit for Brains." And the bridge to the song was, "She had her brother's baby. It was retarded. The blast nearly killed her when the little monster farted. Now she keeps it in a clear plastic bag, his hands tied tightly and his mouth stuffed with rags. She took him to an all-night laundromat, threw him in the dryer, and that was that. Now she sits and picks her nose, eats her snot, and paints her toes."
Oh, wow.
Isn't that brilliant poetry?
Yeah.
It could have come off the washroom walls at the Siemens Mission even. But that could have come off the washroom walls, and I wrote it.
That's awesome.
I wrote it in a song, yeah.
Yeah, I've heard you got that new 7-inch that's out now. And,
with Chris
I think I've got
Houston.
the link.
Yeah,
right, I think I've got the link in the thing where people can find that.
Yeah, he's got the A side. I got the B side.
That's awesome.
You know where to find it?
We do. We actually have the link up.
Okay,
and
good.
For anybody who doesn't want to read, it's available at Schizophrenic Records or at Hammer City Records.
That's it. That's it.
Yep. There's like 20 white ones, and the rest are all black ones. I want a white one.
Also, pretty recent.
You know what? Isn't that an amazing? What?
The Last Pogo jumps again. You want to tell the fans a little bit about the movie?
Oh, I am in a little part of that movie, in the second half. See, it's majorly about Toronto stuff. So see, I was the last guy. Like there was the Vile Tones and Teenage Head and the Ugly and the Curse were like the first 4 bands, and I was the 5th. So I came at the summer of '77. I came in the autumn of '77 while they came in the summer of '75 and '76 and '77. So, I'm a little part of it near the end, but there's a quick flash where I'm sitting on a 5-foot-tall pink high heel, and I'm naked, and I'm holding the flower guitar.
That's where that's from. I wanted to ask where that photo was from, because when I was looking for, pictures to put on the player, because they just kind of flash as pictures since we're all audio, I was like,
Yeah,
that is the best picture
and
ever.
did you see how interesting that was? That's my living room.
No way. That is
Yeah,
awesome.
that's my living room with all the glass statues and stuff like that in it. It's
Very, very cool.
very
And that's not
stereotypical.
your first movie appearance, because the way that I actually first heard of you guys was through the Punks Are All Right. That was like the first time I'd ever even heard of you guys.
Oh,
and
yeah,
actually,
you had...
I was talking to Doug
yeah.
on MySpace, and he sent me a copy before it even got released, and I hosted like a little premiere party for them. And that was like the first time I heard of you, Blind Pigs, any of you guys.
Yeah, yeah. I remember
So how did you get involved with that?
Well, I just got called up. I don't call too many people. They just call me. You know, I spend my time working on the garden. You know, I like Cajun cooking.
Yum.
Well, yeah. Well, you guys get a lot more of it than we do up here. And I like Caribbean cuisine too. And I like working on my garden and hanging out in the forest on my mountain bike, and then going in my basement and playing music in the basement with whoever wants to jam on, you know, but not very often. I, you know, play in my basement once a week maybe, but you know.
Talking about music today, who are you into? Like, who are some new bands?
Who I'm listening to today?
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm majorly listening to the older glam rock stuff and punk stars. You know, like I like listening to Syd Barrett's stuff. You know, Alvin Stardust. You know, David Bowie around the Ziggy Stardust area. The Mott the Hoople Live. You know, but who's an artist today? I don't know. I honestly like Lady Gaga's album, both of them. There's a song that I keep playing over and over again called "Take Her From You" by Dev, and I've never seen the CD. "Take Her From You" by Dev, and it's basically a hip hop song or a sort of mild.
Right.
But today,
do you feel like punk's really lost its edge? I mean, is there just nothing new?
No, it's
viable?
diversified to the point. I like the version of "I Didn't Know I Loved You Till I Saw You Rock and Roll" by the Sirens. I just wish there was more girls involved in it. You know, I listen to the local bands because I go see them live. You know, my friend Larry has Spoiled Rotten, and you know. There used to be a band called Pantychrist. There's you know, bands like that. You know, I don't know what to say. I basically go see anybody that's playing. I would much rather go watch a young act. The Mystics. That's another local act. There was a band sort of like a cross between Blondie and the Stray Cats called the Berettas. Yeah, the Berettas. You know, like those are the type of bands I'll go see. God, you know, like I would rather go watch a local startup act than actually put anything on my stereo, and I go see all the punk bands that start up here, and because you know, a lot of times when you've been around as long as I have, it's not how much you know, it's what you don't know that kind of counts. Because you know, when you're say 16, 17, putting your first songs together, it's not what you know that makes you good, it's what you don't know that makes you good. You know, they hit these sets of notes. You know, this rookie hits a bunch of chords that don't seem to fit, and he forces his voice to fit with them. And, you know, all of a sudden, this is great, even though this guy plays like crap, but why can't you, you know, or this girl plays like okay, but why is it that you want to listen to them over and over again, even though their playing is second rate, and their singing may not be the greatest, but all of a sudden it all sounds fantastic. It doesn't matter how eloquent they are in each part of it.
I think it's
Yeah,
honesty.
it's that raw sound.
Yeah, I mean, it's no pretension. You're not writing for anybody but yourself. You know,
Yeah,
kind
yeah,
of look,
and a lot of times,
take a look at me type thing, you know?
yeah, yeah, and a lot of times the material is a lot better than somebody who's been around a million years. Like, because the ideas are fresh and new, and the person has this enthusiasm of freshness and newness as they're hitting this.
Right.
Definitely. Let me dig in real deep here for a second. What would you personally, what's the one thing you want to be remembered for? You know, 50 years goes by, 100 years goes by, someone finds a forgotten rebel, I don't know, fucking hologram at that point. What do you most want to be remembered for?
Wow. Well, we were part of the change. We're part of the change in attitude. Because see, once bands like ours came around, then you know that the 60s were definitely over. Like the music of the 60s, I'm not saying just the music of the 60s. I'm saying the crap attitude of the 60s. You know, segregation died. Richard Nixon was fucking garbage, you know, stuff like that. You know, Mao Zedong was a goof. You know, that we were part of what symbolized that all the garbage of the 60s and 50s were being washed aside. You know, like when Bob Dylan in the early 60s sang, "The water around you has grown, and if, you know, you don't learn to swim, then you'll sink like a stone." That, you know, the times definitely at that point, you know, the initialization of that change was really starting to be fulfilled. You know, the adult that you know, yells at the kid for getting a tattoo and going to school, his time is over. The teacher the teacher that would send the girl home for wearing too much makeup, maybe he'll get a rock thrown through his car window. The people that said spare the rod and spoil the child and start whipping their kids, they're the ones that are going to get ignored. You know, like it was a change in attitude that directed fairness, but the music was only part of it. It was generally the attitude of people that changed, and the music was a symbol to the side of it. It was only part. And, you know, like you know, Ayatollah Khomeini was a guy that people are going to say was just as big a goof as you can find, and he's gone. You know, Osama bin Laden's gone. Those guys, all those guys that make you work any harder for what you want simply to make them bigger, they're falling. The same way, you know, the same way flies fall out of the sky when you put out a Vapona Nopez strip. You know, that the common man and the good, you know, there's nothing that says that you can't be a billionaire if you're doing the good thing, the right thing. You know, like what it is like the guys that brought us computers, they're the actual Beatles of the 90s.
Yeah.
That massive cultural change that happened in the 60s because of the Beatles happened again in the 90s because of computers. And you know what? I really wish that all this was around. I wish Facebook was around in the 70s. I wish all that was around in the 70s. But, you know, you can't say you wish, you know, something was invented 35 years earlier, but because it wasn't.
Well, you know, I talk to bands all the time about, you know, what would happen, because I was in a band in the 90s, and I always talk about what would we have done if we had what they have today, you know, media-wise, promoting-wise. But then again, there is something real about pounding the pavement, drawing your flyers up, putting them out there, and that's the kind of experience you can't get today. So I don't know if I necessarily would want to have had Facebook when our band was starting out. I don't know if that's something I would actually want, because I gained so much experience just standing around handing out flyers and talking to people face to face, which you can't get from Facebook. Like,
you can get, but you still have to do that. You still have to do what you did, because not everybody's going to look up everything that's happening.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I know I could go down to music store called Picks and Sticks and run into my buddy Chris Houston and say, Chris, what's happening downtown? You know, stuff like that. I can look it up on Facebook, but you know, I get in my car and I feel like, you know, going down a metro and picking up a pizza, and I run into somebody there who tells me something's happening.
Yeah,
well,
you know, people in their 20s, I think they're all getting their information through Twitter and Facebook. I don't think they're doing a whole lot of research outside of that. And I mean, I miss that. I mean, I don't know. I mean, not here in the States at least. I think people are a little bit more automated, stuck behind their computers. They want the information handed to them. I don't think anybody wants to go out and get it anymore. You know, they're so used to just kind of sitting in their bedroom and getting information and having their friends tell them what's cool. I don't think a band could survive today without social media. Not a news part.
It would be hard to it'd be hard to survive without social media the same way it would be next to impossible for a business to survive without it.
Right,
yeah.
Exactly.
And unfortunately, a lot of the bands just become a business right away. Well, you can't do that. You have to have the passion. You see, it wouldn't have mattered to me whether we got popular or not. I would have still be playing. Like, you know, like I did a few Rebels gigs a few months ago, and I showed up, you know, at a wake to play a free show. You know, it's, you know, I'll do it for money, I'll do it for nothing, I'll do it for the party, and that's what a lot of them think. You know, just because they pick up a guitar, they can become stars and, you know, maybe retire early. Well, that's just as dumb as thinking that you can just research the stock market and make a fortune on reselling stocks. Unless you're buying into what you really like. You know, you have to buy into what you like in order to be successful, because if you don't really like it, then all you're doing is just, you know, mechanically falling into holes.
Yeah. I definitely agree. And like I said, I miss pounding the pavement. I mean, that was part of the fun of being in a punk band, DIY, and I think that's why we get such watered-down music today, because my friend Andy had a brilliant idea. He was like, if you want to be in a famous band, borrow $20,000 from the bank and put your song on iTunes and buy it 20,000 times. Hit the top of the chart. Everybody will see you up there. People will buy it because they see you've been bought 20,000 times, and you'll be famous in like a month.
Well, you'll be famous, but you'll be like the Corvair, you know. You remember that car? It was a bad car that was very famous for being bad.
New Coke.
Yeah, New Coke, but
it's sad
that's
even an option. That you didn't have that option 30 years ago to get 20 grand in. You know, become famous.
But then most people wouldn't have had the balls to be in a band that was different than everything. Like, see, I was trying to write tunes the way I liked hearing them, and then I was in a real, you know, blasé. I was a sideman in a real shit band that never played anywhere. And the second I heard Anarchy in the UK, I quit the band. I says, you know, this was the sound I was trying to tell you guys to play, and still couldn't.
What kind of sound did that band have that you quit?
Huh? Oh, they fizzled out.
What kind of the band that you quit? What were you guys playing?
Weren't playing bad stuff. We were playing like Beatles tunes, you know, Badfinger, and you know, maybe a bit of Dylan and stuff like that. But it was sounding, you know, as wimpy as it did in the '60s. And I really didn't like that. And I was trying to get these guys to play T-Rex and Slade and Mott the Hoople, you know, and these guys didn't want to get distorted or loud and stuff. So, you know, I quit that as soon as I heard the Sex Pistols, because I was already into the Stooges and the Ramones, you know, because I said, this is the sound I've been trying to show you guys to play. And I quit. And then I went to Tim Hortons and ran into a guy that played bass who was hanging around with a bunch of gang guys, and I started jamming with him, and that's how we got the Rebels together.
Cool.
My friend Carl Johnson, Chris Suicide, and we started the Rebels after hanging out at Tim Hortons coffee shop.
Everything happens at Tim Hortons.
Yeah, again, the
You hear that,
Tim Hortons
Beyonce?
coffee shop shows
I'll
up,
go down
and
to
you
Tim
know,
Hortons.
like that sort of thing. The coffee shop connection, because there's so many of them around the city. You go into some coffee shop, and you'll see, you know, what one band hanging out there. You go into another coffee shop, and the coffee shop is just down the road from a rehearsal center, and you'll see some guy in a van buying coffee for the rest of his band. It's funny because every guy in a band in Hamilton tends to drink a lot of coffee, and that's one of the places that they go to. Or for that matter, if you live in West Hamilton, like there's a coffee shop here. I mean, there's an Italian restaurant here, Valentino's. You go in there, and you'll see maybe Bob or Dan Lanois, like the guys that worked with you too. You'll see them sitting in there. Or Bill Dillon, not Bob Dylan, but Bill Dillon would be sitting in there having a coffee, and he's worked with the Pretenders in you too. You know, it's the kind of it's an odd sort of city where if you know who you're looking for, you'll find in very odd places. Or for that matter, you go to this St. Hollywood for a drink, sit down, and there's Dennis Dunaway from Alice Cooper's band and two members of Blue Oyster Cult hanging around.
Nice, yeah.
You know, like before the hotel, the Royal Connaught Hotel was closed, which was pretty, you know, pretty high priced. But they, you know, I used to go there to drink in this club called the Club Car, and you know, you'd go in there and you'd find the strangest of fucking people walking through there. And like one day I was there and there's Johnny Cash. You know, this is obviously a long time ago, but in Hamilton, if you go to the right places, you'll find some amazingly, you know, unique people that just show up. Like when the Rolling Stones in their 90s tour played Canada, they showed up in Hamilton, not Toronto, because they can get safe haven here. Michael Jackson comes to the Hamilton airport when he was alive. So that way the media wouldn't hassle him in Toronto. And the reason I know that is because my neighbor was a customs official, rest his soul, and he took his son's pick guard from his base when he was working that day because he knew that something was going to go on. He got all the original Rolling Stones to sign it for him.
Nice. Hey,
yeah,
Mickey, you've got a call coming in. Do you want to take a call from a fan?
Well, I'll take a question as long as it's not a dumb one, but I'll take a call.
I can't make any promises, but we got someone on the line. Can you hear me,
Yeah.
caller?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, you got
Hey,
a
what's
question for Mickey?
I do. I seen the band in.
You there?
I think Danielle just cut him off.
Okay.
No, he was in the middle of asking a question. Go ahead and punch him back in. All right, sorry about that. Go ahead and
That's
ask
all
a
right.
question for Mickey.
My question was, do they play the States at all? I've seen them in the early '90s. I haven't, you know, seen them around or anything. And then one day I was on Facebook and I noticed that the band was still playing, so I went up and saw them in Toronto area, maybe in October, and they were great. But how come they don't play the States?
We play there every once in a while. I don't have my passport right now. I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it done eventually. But each one of us does have steady jobs, and it is hard for us to tour. But we do it once in a while. Like
and
I mean,
also,
yes.
How can I get a hold of the solo record? I looked everywhere on the internet.
The solo record? Let's see. There's a place in Hamilton called Dr. Disc.
Okay.
Dr. Disc, and it's on Wilson Street, I think.
So I'd have to go up to Canada.
No, he'll mail it to you.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a guy named Mark there, or there's a girl named Beth. or Sarah, Mark, Beth, or Sarah. And I don't know who else works there, but phone them and say you definitely want it, because I know I've signed a bunch of them for them. And there's also a live Forgotten Rebels record there. And that
I
live
bought
record,
it at the show. It's great.
Okay, cool. Thanks for buying that. You know the thing about that live record, and this is very sad, because the inside there, we dedicated to our friend Iman Crummins, who is a rock and roll historian, and he passed away. And after he passed away, the guy that produced it, Dario Cernil, he was a member of, remember that metal band, Svengali? They toured like with Van Halen. They toured with Def Leppard and bands like that. Well, anyways,
Kinda. I've heard the name, I just never heard him.
And then he passed away.
Wow.
You know, which was very unfortunate. Beautiful people. We really loved those guys, and they both passed away on us. And well, that record is basically a tribute to both of them now.
Oh. That's so sweet. Now,
Where are
just
you,
to interrupt for just a second. Hey, hang on, honey. Also, if you are nowhere where you can find the number, if you are not in Canada, nowhere near Canada, you can look up Dr. Disc online. It is the one in Hamilton. It's Dr. Disc, with a C, of course, .ca. And they have got all of their info there, and Forgotten Rebels listed. I mean, you name it, they can totally hook you up.
Yeah, and you know what? that's a great place to call. That's a great record store. It's a great CD store. And I'm not just saying that because they carry our stuff, because, you know, Sheepy's Records and Tapes also carries our stuff. And there's places in Toronto, but see, the thing is, we have a limited release. We're doing this for pleasure, and we're doing this for our fans. We're not going to be millionaires. I mean, and we're not. Well, we're not. You know, we're doing this for fun, and that's
Where
why
are you calling from, caller?
Buffalo.
You're
Buffalo.
calling from Buffalo. Hey, yeah. Colin, let me talk to this guy. Hey, what's the cool place now in Buffalo now that the Continental's closed?
Place in Buffalo is a place called the Waiting Room. It just opened up, well, I don't know, a couple of months ago, but they've been getting really good shows there lately, and it's just a really nice room.
Did you ever see us play at the Continental?
No, but I saw you at the Scrapyard in like the early 90s.
Oh, I remember that. That was really cool. That was really cool. The Continental, I played there on a New Year's Eve, and I like to have my 15 drinks on stage during a set. I used to drink, like 12 drinks a set, and well, I guess I was kind of imbibed. But anyways, we're supposed to play there on New Year's Eve, and you know what? At the Continental, I was cut off before I even made it to the place. They weren't allowed to serve me until I got on stage.
Wow.
That's how worried they were. But see, I was never an alcoholic, and I'm not an alcoholic. I just like to drink free, and I took full advantage of it, just like I like to eat a lot of pizza when Mary used to cook it. And remember the pizza at the Continental?
No.
Don't tell me you never tried the pizza at the Continental. Don't tell me you never tried the chicken wings at the Anchor. Don't tell me you didn't eat did you eat there? Okay, Frank Bellissimo was the guy. To you in Tennessee, Frank Bellissimo is the guy who commercialized the sale of chicken wings at a bar.
Nice. I'm a chicken wing guy.
Yep.
We should have a shrine.
And he, Frank Bellissimo. Well, and the Anchor Bar is the first place in America to have sold commercially chicken wings, and they're pretty good. You know, like they're really good, aren't they?
They're the best.
And did you notice? I would hate to be the garbage man that goes by and picks up all those bones, because they've got hundreds of pounds of bones in the pack.
Oh my God!
Imagine how many cats they're fighting off.
Oh my God! Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh. Well, they'd never have a rat in the place because the bones don't move.
So is there any new material in the works?
The new material in the works. Well, I'll tell you, the Rebels have written a few songs, and between me and Chris Houston, we're working on basically an album of covers.
Okay.
And I don't know how you go about releasing covers, but you know, we've done stuff like the Velvet's White Light, White Heat, but done it real heavy style. We did covered Headbanger by the Ramones, covered Wined and Dined by Syd Barrett. You know, even stuff like Carefree Highway by Gordon Lightfoot, heavy style, you know, the way you'd expect anything from us.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I love that.
but also check out not only my solo album, but Chris Houston's record, Einstein's Brain. He's got a 45. You know, I'm sure you would enjoy that. Because the flip side is me doing a song called Shit for Brains, which is also on a Rebels album.
Oh, yeah.
But is done by me and Houston instead, which was the original demo.
Very cool.
Nice.
Yeah, thanks.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for calling in.
Love to see you.
Yeah.
All right. We got
is it very hard for you? Huh?
Oh, go ahead. We got.
Is it very hard for you to find Frank's chili lime sauce down there?
Frank's chili lime sauce. Do you know what that is?
No, we sure don't. Now, I do like the Frank's wing sauce, and I use it religiously, but that is the only Frank's, unfortunately, that we have. I will have to definitely
just Frank's regular sauce you got?
Yeah.
We don't have much chili lime, but we don't have much chili lime, but we got all the other ones. But I got 4 bottles downstairs.
I'm going to have to look it up online because I'm the one that makes the wings, like, all the time. he's always begging, honey, make the wings, make the wings.
My wife likes making wings. She doesn't put too much hot stuff on it. She must be the only Caribbean who doesn't like hot, spicy stuff.
I must be the only Latina that doesn't like a lot of hot stuff.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
One of my friends, Sergio from San Salvador, he doesn't like hot sauce either. I couldn't believe it.
It hates me. You know, I just can't anymore.
Oh my God.
All right. Well, we've got about 2 minutes here. I do want to end with a song. Congratulations on 35 years, Mickey. I definitely appreciate you coming on tonight.
Thanks for calling me.
I also do a political show on Sundays, and if you ever want to come on that, you're more than welcome. I do
a political show on Sundays?
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
And you got a lot to say. You definitely have someone who has, like, the big knowledge. So if you ever want to come on the political show, you're more than welcome.
Yeah, you know what? I might come on one of these days, but I got to do my day job. Hello?
I got you. Yeah, you still with me?
I thought you just hung up on me.
Oh, no, I'm still here. I think we lost Danielle, though, for some reason.
Yeah, poor Colin got hung up on somehow.
This switchboard is kind of sketchy on here.
You still have a switchboard? You
it's
still
like
have
a little
switchboard?
It's a little dashboard on the computer.
Oh, I thought you said a switchboard.
Sorry, guys.
That's so 1955.
No, it's not like a operator. Hello. No, nothing like that. Just a little dashboard.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me.
Drop us a line if you ever want to come on the Ignorance Equation. I would love to talk politics with you. And I'm going to go ahead and end the show with one of my favorite Rebel songs, Angry.
Thank you very much. That's me on guitar, you know.
I know.
Awesome.
I know. All right, Mickey, thanks a lot. And we got the 60-second red alert here. This is Angry by the Forgotten Rebel.
Bye.
You use my name as a false pretense. You wrote my name at the side of the fence. I got you in the corner where I wanted you. Got you in the corner when the snow was chasing. I'm angry. I'm angry. I got the right. Angry. I'm angry. And I got the right. You got a problem with the protect on me. I got you in the corner where I wanted you. I got you in the corner where there's no escape. I hated everything you ever held close. What you held closest, I hated the most. I want revenge for the things you said. I want revenge for the rubbish you spread, and I'm angry. I'm angry. I got the right. Angry. I'm angry. I have the right. You got a problem personality. All you hate, you protect on me. I got you in the corner where I wanted you. Got you in the corner where there's no escape. Popularity. They all believe what you say about me. I want to destroy you because you took your way. I want to destroy you because you stood in my way. And I'm angry. I'm angry. I'm the right. Angry. I'm angry. I'm the right. You got a problem personality. All you hate, you protect on me. Got you in the corner where I wanted you. Got you in the corner where there's no escape. 2, 3, 4. All you need is protection when you walk down the street. All you need is protection. Say what you want to say. All you need is protection. Do what you want to say. All you need is protection. Oh, that's fun for you.
All right, I'd like to thank everybody for listening to Wednesday Night Musical Osmosis. I will be gone next week. I will be out of town, unfortunately, so hopefully I'll be returning in 2 weeks if I can get a good guest lined up. Just in closing, I want to say I'm pretty happy with every aspect of the show. However, I haven't come up with a great ending line yet. I have a hard time just kind of hanging up the phone. We're actually broadcasting from a phone here. So I'm not going to say goodbye. I hate goodbyes. I will say till next time, and thank you for tuning in.